Welcome into Cronkite Sports Live. Spencer Hardenberg, Chancellor Johnson, and Spence. My man, you look good.
You like it?
Yeah,
you
I do.
You do too. You do too. Listen, you dress for the job you want, Chance.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to get over that metaphorical hill. You know, be a king of the fashion world. I'm working at it. I'm working at it.
You know, you sound a lot like the Sun Devils, who are still trying to get over that hump. They now have 4 losses on the season, and every single one of them have been by a touchdown. For more on the football team, here's Alex Gall with the latest.
Take a quick glance at the 2018 Arizona State football schedule, and you'll likely notice something peculiar. The Devils are 3-4 on the season, but in their 4 losses, they share one common similarity. Each loss was by exactly 7 points. And as the Sun Devils prepare to face the USC Trojans this weekend, they're keeping in mind that they're only a couple plays away from victory.
You know, we've got some unfortunate things that have happened to us in the red zone, throwing interceptions. So, you know, those moments where you lose and you need 7 points instead of 3, it makes all the difference in football games.
The Devils have fallen exactly 1 touchdown short to San Diego State, Washington, Colorado, and Stanford over the course of their 2018 campaign. That scoreline is emblematic of ASU's inability to play well down the stretch in close games.
We can't press and we can't force stuff to happen. We have to let the game come to us, take what the defense gives us, kind of like we were, you know, beginning of the year, just dinking and dunking, you know, throwing 5-yard hitches here and there. Those are the things that we gotta do.
In ASU's 4 losses, the offense has struggled mightily down the stretch. ASU is averaging just 31 yards per drive in drives starting with under 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter in their 4 losses. In 3 of those drives, the Sun Devils have gone 3 and out, and only 1 of those drives has lasted for more than 10 plays.
I know I say it all the time, every interview I've been in here, but, you know, you're 1-2 plays away from just everybody being on the same page, and we just have to do it.
Kickoff between the Devils and the Trojans is scheduled for 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time this Saturday as ASU looks to even up their record at 4-4. In Tempe, Alex Gall, Cronkite Sports.
Well, after a promising start, ASU has fallen off the tracks a bit in the standings. However, they are still in contention for a top spot because many other teams in the conference have fallen short of expectations as well. Here's Jackson Zuber with a look at how the Pac-12 has fallen off compared to other conferences.
Thanks, Spence. The Pac-12 is often referred to as the Conference of Champions, but it's beginning to feel like an ironic statement. Last year, the conference extended the Power Five's longest national championship drought in football to 14 years, while also having the worst bowl record in conference history at 1-8. The bright side, as the Pac-12 likes to point out, is the $509 million made. That was the largest in its history. However, this ranked them 5th in Power 5 conferences. Coming into this year, the conference had some hope. One of its teams, U of A, looked to have a Heisman hopeful quarterback and was a dark horse candidate for the college football playoffs. The preseason poll had 2 teams in the top 10 and 5 in the top 25. U of A now has a record of 3-5, and Khalil Tate is nowhere to be seen on any Heisman ballots. Looking at the rankings, there is not a single Pac-12 team in the top 10, with 5 teams barely holding on to the top 25. With the highest ranked team being Washington State at 14. The Pac-12 is the only Power 5 conference without a team undefeated in conference play. In fact, they're the only conference in the FBS without one. Does this show a conference with too many high-quality teams for its own good, or a bunch of low-caliber teams beating up on each other? TV ratings point to the audience deciding the latter, as last week Pac-12 games averaged a rating of 1.13. Even when the viewership was brought in, the product on the field has been problematic. With the recent officiating controversies, the public opinion of the conference seems to be low. If the Pac-12 is truly the Conference of Champions, the goal should always be to be the best. Right now, at least in football, they aren't living up to the name, and the powers that be need to take a look at why. Back to you guys.
Through their first 5 games, ASU soccer team was 1-1-3 to start conference play. In their last 3 games, they're 3-0, including a victory last night over Oregon on the road. Tyler Mannion joining me now. And Tyler, it seems like Coach Winkworth has been able to push the right buttons for his team. Why have they been so hot as of late?
Well, Chance, it really started before the season. You know, he brought in 17 fresh faces into this program, and he took a risk with that. But once we got through the season and now we're playing games and whatnot, you can see his adjustments and the changes he can make from game to game. You know, last week, for example, he went with 2 strikers up top instead of 1. Now, what this does is it gives more strength to the offense, obviously, but it also takes 1 player away from the defense, so that's difficult. But what they did was they ended up winning that game 3-1 against number 19th ranked Washington State. So that's huge. So he's been making changes like that all season, and it's really been going well for the Sun Devils.
You talk about the two strikers that he put on up there on his front line, but the offense is clicking as a whole. How have they been able to put the ball in the back of the net so much?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of players that are contributing to a lot of great stuff going on up top for the Sun Devils, but Nicole Douglas, Eva Van Dersen, and Alexia Delgado. Those three players, all freshmen. And you see here, Douglas, U19 English national team. Delgado, U20 Mexico captain. Van Dersen, U19 Netherlands player. Those three, ridiculous. And Winkworth said at the beginning of the season about Delgado and Van Dersen specifically, that by their senior year, he thinks they can be the best center-mid duo in the country. I think that says all you need to know.
A lot of high praise coming from Coach Graham Winkworth. Now, 3-game winning streak, 3 more games to go left off in the season. How do they finish the season strong?
You know, it's going to be tough, I'm not going to lie. So they just had a big win against Oregon, as we already mentioned. This Sunday, they just go right over to Corvallis, play Oregon State against the Beavers, and that should be a nice win for the Devils. But then you play U of A next Friday night, under the lights, home in Tempe. They're ranked 20th in the country. They're a solid team. Then they have the best team in the nation, Stanford, on a rain-out rescheduled game to end the season. But hopefully, for them, the Sun Devils, their season might not end there. Because if they play well, they can go to the NCAA tournament and not just go, they could host a first-round match. This program does not get that opportunity often, let me tell you. So that would be huge.
Very bold take from our soccer savant, Tyler Mannion. Tyler, great stuff as always.
ASU men's hockey has glided through the first few games of this season. The guys are currently 4-2, and those 2 losses came against the nation's top team, Ohio State. The Ice Devils have impressed so much that they actually received a vote this past week to be ranked. This is no small feat for a program that is just a few years old. The boys will play on Friday night in Tempe against Nebraska Omaha in what will be senior forwards Anthony Croston's 100th game.
The Arizona State men's hockey team came off of a 2-game road sweep defeating Alabama Huntsville last weekend. And though the wins were important to the program, they are focusing on this weekend's homestand versus Nebraska Omaha.
We're going to have to be better. We're going to be better than we were last weekend to get wins this weekend. And as you see our schedule start to really take shape, that's not going to change. I mean, it just gets tougher and tougher and tougher for us. So continue to improve, and it all starts out here every day in practice. We played them pretty tough last year. We actually tied them or beat them in a shootout, and we feel like we're a lot better this year. So again, we play the way we need to play. It doesn't matter who comes in this building. We expect to win.
Though the focus is on beating the Mavericks, veteran captain Anthony Croston will play his 100th game with the Sun Devils Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It felt like just yesterday I was doing orientation at the business school, so it's crazy how far we've come, and it came really quick, and so it's pretty exciting.
As Coach Powers has reflected on Anthony Croston's time at ASU, he says that he has been a model for their theme being the tradition.
Again, he's just an incredible model of consistency. Like he just shows up ready to work, whether it's in the weight room. He's won our Ironman preseason fitness testing competition 2 years in a row. He came as a walk-on. We didn't really know what to expect from him in the hybrid year, and he's developed himself into a kid that we think is going to be able to play some pro hockey when he's done here. He's going to have 2 degrees. He's going to graduate with a master's. He's a year 4.0 student. He's won a letter 3 years out of 4. He's earned a scholarship. On and on and on. He literally is the model for what Sun Devil hockey players should be.
And Croston explains how the team can have success this weekend and in the future as a program.
Like I said, just sticking to the process is the biggest part. I mean, you're not going to see results right away. We've understood that throughout these three or four now. So I think just playing how we know how to play, and we're going to be in the right directions.
ASU women's hockey is down in the Show Me State for the Missouri Showcase, and there was no way that our very own Nick Batters was going to miss it. Nick is live there with the latest on the ladies on ice.
Now let's dive into a program that we haven't visited in quite a while, the ASU swim teams. The men are coming off an impressive season, finishing at 19th in the nation, and have some newcomers who are ready to contribute right now. On the women's side, they have new faces from freshmen and transfers who Coach Bob Bowman said, quote, will step in big time and help us, end quote. With both teams finishing at Florida State today, it's a good time to bring in WCSN swim and dive reporter Jacob Rudner. Jacob, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, as I mentioned, the men last season, very promising year. They finished 19th in the nation. What can we expect from this squad this year?
It's just going to be a matter of continuing the momentum that they started last year and being able to transfer it into this season. Obviously, they have big guys in Cameron Craig, Daniel Conforti, and Grant House, who they're going to be able to rely on, but they also have to be weary of teams like Cal and USC, who had massive recruiting classes on the men's side. For the women, again, it's all about that momentum, but really relying on those recruits, 11 freshmen this year, which we'll talk a little bit about later.
And now you did mention Cameron Craig. He had a monster season last year, and I don't think he's done. He'll be back for more. What are you expecting from him this season?
More of the same. Last year we saw a lot of speed from Craig. He definitely outshined the rest of the ASU swim team, winning the Pac-12 in the 200 freestyle and coming in third in the 100 free. And he posted the 12th fastest time in all of college swimming in that 200 freestyle. So for Craig, as a junior now, he'll be able to lead that team and continue what he did last season.
Yeah, Craig will definitely be a factor with how they do this year, but let's go to the women's side. They had a breakout season last year, but there is room for more growth. What does the future look like for these ladies?
You know what? I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. It's all about the freshmen. 11 freshmen on this team, 3 more recruits verbally committing to ASU. It's looking forward to the future for them right now, being able to just rely on the fact that we have new recruits coming in, and we'll be able to see those guys grow throughout the program and grow the program itself. Because with swimming, there is no draft. It's high retention. That's 11 swimmers that we'll be able to keep freshman to senior year.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Jacob. Now let's look at a schedule. As I mentioned, they both finished at Florida State today. The men won, the women lost. But here's what the beginning of the season looks like for both teams. They'll go on to USC on November 2nd to face the Trojans, and then the women will turn around the next day and go to neighboring school, UCLA. The divers will spend November 14th through 16th in Texas, while the swimmers will be in Indiana facing the Hoosiers November 15th to the 17th. Now we'll dry off from that and head over to one of our favorite segments, Sun Devil Social Media. For that, we got Jose Liriano. Jose, hope you brought some good stuff today.
Oh, I did. We have 2 behind-the-scenes footage of 2 teams, and then a little shout-out to a colleague of ours. But let's get to it. First tweet, Sun Devil Swim. They just got out of a flight to Florida State. And look at them. They're already practicing in the rain. I mean, it's like... these people deal with enough water already, so I don't know why.
You know, the grind doesn't stop, rain or shine. I like it.
I'm shocked, and I'm kind of worried, especially in Florida, all that lightning.
No lightning. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. No.
Yeah, these people have no fear. Let's get to the second tweet here. It's from Sun Devil Soccer. I can't believe actually they tweeted this out. Behind-the-scenes footage of Coach Winkworth game planning for Oregon. Skittles, guys, that's what they use. That's how they beat Oregon in double overtime. Game planning with Skittles. Clearly, they thought they were going to have a 4-3-3 formation, Oregon, right there, and they probably weren't wrong, and that's how they won the game. Can you believe that?
I think Skittles is my candy of choice if I'm setting up in Winkworth's position there. So I like it.
Especially the orange.
I like the hustle.
That's
the orange. Yeah.
That's
See, I'm a yellow guy, but
okay.
we can agree. We can agree to disagree.
I'm more of a purple guy, but yeah. So let's get to the third tweet here. This is actually from a colleague of ours, Braden Bell. He does anchoring with you every now and then, Spencer. So Sun Devil Basketball, they tweeted, new addition to the Weather Up Center. It's a little poster, says defend the bank. Braden Bell, major props to whoever came up with the bank. I think it's catching on now. I think we can all agree. We all hate giving Braden any more credit than he gives himself. So
I guess he's the unofficial creator of it. You
know?
But there's still no proof.
It's true.
Created it.
It's very true.
I like documentation.
He said
documentation
that,
next
but
time.
No one's ever proved it.
Exactly.
So somebody might have to do a deep dive.
But let's just be nice. Nevertheless, it is catching on, Braden. So congrats if you actually came up with it.
Jose, thanks for joining us. Now, tick, tick, tick. The countdown to the tip-off of ASU's basketball season is underway. And up next, they have a exhibition match on Tuesday night and before their season opener against Cal State Fullerton. Sophomore point guard Remy Martin spoke to the media on Thursday about how the team is preparing for the upcoming season.
Having gotten a lot of practice already with this squad, what do you think you guys' biggest strength is coming into the season?
Defense and energy and transition. Every time we, get a stop, we get to run. We have so many athletes. I don't have to push the ball up every time. We got Zylan that's 6'8" that could push the ball. I could run the floor, and just we gotta get stops. So when we play defense, get stops, we will be able to run and play our game. But definitely transition is our strength.
How did you help bring these freshmen into the practice and kind of the swing of Arizona State basketball?
Just trying to encourage them that this is a program that wants to win, wants to be great. And in order for us to be great, we have to win and bring everything that comes with winning. We have to bring the energy every day. We have to work as hard as we can. No days off. We have to stay mentally sharp, take care of our bodies. Things that winning comes with. And that's just what I try to tell these freshmen is that, make sure you come in ready and prepared, because at the end of the day, it's on a bigger scale, but it's still basketball. People forget that.
How have you seen that kind of translate to these early practices?
Oh, it's been helpful because I could get on somebody and then not take it in offense.
Okay.
I could say, hey, get to the block, or say it in an aggressive way, and they will translate it to where like, okay, he only cares about me. He's not doing it because he hates me.
Yeah.
So that's helped a lot.
Have you seen that go wrong? I guess in like high school or maybe even
definitely.
AAU, where people try and get on another person and they don't know where it's coming from, so they take it the wrong way.
And that's why I am who I am, because I could go back to those experiences and I could say, those experiences made me who I am. Knowing how to sit down with that person that's, took it the wrong way and say, look, this is not what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant it another way. And for us to, come together and say, okay, you're right, and agree with each other has made me who I am. Adversity makes a man. So that's why I hold myself accountable to.
What goes up must come down, and ASU women's volleyball learned this their last few games, losing 4 in a row after a hot 4-2 start. The ladies do have a golden opportunity to bounce back. All 3 of their games this week will come against squads who they already beat earlier this season. Troy Tauscher reports from practice.
After getting off to a hot start in the conference season, the Arizona State Sun Devils are being reminded that whenever they hit the conference, the pack hits back. ASU is currently working with a 4-match losing streak and has fallen to 1-3 against conference opponents at Wells Fargo Arena.
I feel like we get pretty big crowds now all of a sudden, and I think a lot of the younger girls aren't used to playing in crowds that big, or just playing for their friends and families, boyfriends, whatever it is. I feel like we kind of add a lot of pressure to ourselves. Our supporters that are watching us still love us at the end of the day, and we just have to learn how to get comfortable on our home court.
The Devils now have a chance to get back in the win column against 2 opponents who helped them start the Pac-12 season there. ASU swept Oregon and Oregon State at the end of September, but aren't taking it for granted that they'll be able to do so again.
They're running a different lineup than we saw last time. There's a couple different girls than we saw last time. Do they run a similar system? Sure. But it's a whole new match. It's a mental and physical game, and they're coming here. They're gonna play well. Oregon, has played well the last couple weekends, and we expect them to be good here.
As they head into the heart of their non-conference season, the Sun Devils are still looking for all the little keys that can turn their early season success into their consistent identity.
I think it's playing a complete match, mentally and physically. It takes more than just being a physically talented athlete. It's being mentally focused the whole time. So we've seen that in some games here and there, and that's what we're really trying to get out of them this weekend.
Reporting from Tempe, Troy Tauscher, Cronkite Sports.
All right, Chancellor, let's get into it. It's time to battle. It's the way it is. You guys know how it works. We got 3 questions. Each of us will do a little back and forth, and then Troy in the studio will pick a winner. Chance, you ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Now, we talked ASU football already. They're playing USC this Saturday. They've struggled a bit. Would a win over USC put them back in contention for a Pac-12 South title?
Theoretically, yes, because they play, like you mentioned, USC, Arizona, UCLA, and Utah. So they play some of the other teams in the division. But the big question is, will they win on Saturday? Which we'll have to see.
I just think too much damage has been done. Regardless, even if they win out, I don't think they're there this season.
Well, the ASU men's basketball will host their basketball exhibition on Tuesday. Who do you have your eye out on?
I'm going with Tayshawn Cherry. He's a very versatile wing, 2-way player. and a player that ASU really hasn't had in a long time, and we'll see how he does. We'll see what he can do for this team.
You know, I like that pick, but I'm more interested to see how Bobby Hurley manages his lineup. So my eye is out on Hurley. I mean, we'll see how great of a coach he is this upcoming season.
All right, let's get spooky. Chance, we know Halloween is coming up this week. If you could dress up as anything ASU related, what would it be, and how would you pull off the costume?
I'm going to go with Manny Wilkins, ASU's quarterback. I'll just put on a nice little beard, grow out my hair, make it nice and curly. I think I can pull it off.
Little fro going. I like it. I like it. I'm going Bobby Hurley. You know what? I'm just gonna wear a red mask, just all red clothes. I feel like he's just angry at the world, angry all the time. I feel like that would be an easy thing to pull off. Maybe gray my hair a little bit.
Okay.
Little salt and pepper look.
I can see it. I think my costume would be better just as much as I won this.
Well, hey, we'll see. We'll see what Troy thinks.
Troy,
we know it's coming down to the costumes. That's besides. That's besides the point.
Come on, the Manny Wilkins is more creative. It's all red. That doesn't even represent. Wow.
Oh, there we go. All right, I needed that. Now, I know we talked a lot of ASU football this show already, but let's keep this train rolling. Let's talk about the team. Who are they as a team? What is their identity? I believe this is a lost season for the Sun Devils, and they won't make a bowl game. Now, we look at most teams on top. You'll find they either have top-tier older talent or very promising younger talent to set them up for when the older guys graduate. ASU appears to be in no man's land here. They have some elite players in many positions, but not enough to be a consistently ranked team. They have exciting young talent, but not enough to be on anyone's radar as a legit threat in the next few seasons. The one thing they will have, their one hope, is Herm Edwards. Now, I understand that's a scary thing to rely on for many ASU fans out there, but they have to believe in Herm's ability to recruit in the next few years to get this train rolling. The next recruiting class is more important to Herm than his performance the rest of this season, and that's the way it is.
The way it is. Great job, Spence. Now, one of my favorite segments of the show, Top Plays. Let's kick it off with number 3, ASU women's soccer. Marlene Shimmer, game time goal versus Oregon. Such a pretty goal there. Nice pass there. Gives it to her right in stride, right by the goalie. Nice goal by Marlene Shimmer. You'll probably see her again on Top Plays.
I think she's coming up. Now, Chance, we talked to ASU volleyball. They've been struggling 0-4 in their last 4 games. I don't think Elise Ford cared too much. She racked up 29, you heard me, 29 kills over Colorado. Unfortunately for her, it came in a loss, but great job, Elise.
Number 1, I foreshadowed it earlier, Marlene Shimmer, game winner. It's funny how that rhymes together. Nice goal right there. Goal!
Looking like Messi.
Number 1 on Top Plays. Have a night. Game-winning goal. 2-1 victory over the Oregon Ducks.
You know what that is, Chance? That's weight room. It's taking over, dominating the game.
Yep, she had a great game, and so did we. Had a great show.
I thought so, too. It was a lot of fun, Thank you guys for watching, and we will be here same time, same place next week. Thanks, guys. Catch us then.